Hey, we are live. Welcome. Good morning. I want to give people a chance to get here. I'm a minute early, but I did that on purpose so I can give people a chance to get here. That's kind of terrible. Let's see if we can't get that light out of the way. That's better. Oh, that's better anyways. It's kind of different going live on different streams, between YouTube and Twitch. It's just a different little beast. Give people a moment to show up. I said I was going to go on at 7:30 Eastern time, but a lot of people watch the videos afterwards, and I get it. Not Some people are getting ready for work, although not as many people right now. A lot of those are probably sleeping in. I know I would be if I didn't have other things to do. Actually, for anybody who doesn't know, I actually got a job back in October that lets me stay home and work all the time, most of the time. I mean, occasionally I have to go off for meetings and stuff like that. I haven't had to recently because all those meetings have been canceled. But for the most part, I stay home and work, which has been really nice. See if I can get a little more light up here. There we go. Nice. Feather it off this way a little bit more. There we go. Not bad. Hey, good morning, Nick. How are you, sir? Glad you could make it. I know it's quite the commitment to be getting up and online this early in the morning. So glad you're here. I'm just going to give everybody another minute or so, and we'll get going into it, I guess. I don't necessarily have an agenda. Um, we're just gonna chat. How have you been doing up there in Michigan? Staying safe, I assume. Busy working from home. Appreciate you. Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. I'm glad to take the time. This actually takes a lot less time than a normal video because I don't have to edit it. Editing takes a lot of time, but it's with everybody hunkering down. It's a thing. Seabone 77. How you doing, Dennis? Long time no see, sir. And you're right around the corner. But don't visit. Not now. All right, we got a couple people up. So, all right, we'll get into it. I haven't, as I said in the message that I posted in the what is it, the community chat or bulletin board or something like that, which is awesome because yes, I'm up over 1,000 subscribers. I'm pretty psyched about it. Really happy about that. It took over 200 videos and 2 years to get up over 1,000 subs. And you go through phases when you start YouTubing. You go through phases where even if you don't want to look at subscriber count, you do because how else do you know how you're doing? That's the instant feedback of how am I doing? So you look at that kind of thing, and I try not to. And after 2 years, I kind of got to the point. I have to admit, I got a little bit bitter about it. Really, I was like, you know what? I don't care about my subscriber count. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to grow the channel. I'm not going to make a bunch of money off of it. It doesn't matter. And at the same time, I had subs that have been faithful and following me the whole time, and so you can't stop because people are looking for you, and you really do build a community, and these people that you get to know, at least online, if not in person, and that matters. So definitely want to be here. I know that a lot of people were concerned about my health while I was kind of just taking time off, and I really hadn't even planned on taking time off. I just had other stuff going on, and I wasn't going to pressure myself to post a video that I wasn't ready to post. It's like, why just make stuff up just to post it? So I was kind of thinking that if I drop back a little bit, it would also help raise the quality. It would may drop in the quantity of postings, but it would raise the quality. So but yeah, so I haven't been out on the bike, and I still wanted to start posting, at least try and get to be regular again. Yeah, regular. um, so thought this morning chat might be the thing, just to hang out. I've been doing quite a bit of Twitch lately, for the photography stuff, and Twitch is really a live platform. That's really what it's geared towards. And you can save videos on Twitch, but I think very few people go back and watch them because most of the videos up there seem to be kind of time sensitive. Once it's gone, it's over. Um, but they do have that capability. But Twitch is a different platform altogether, and it's kind of weird because when you get on YouTube and you're making videos, you tend to make them. I want to be concise and quick and get them done. And on Twitch, you really just hang out with friends. Um, so I really kind of wanted to bring some of that to YouTube and do the live. So this is Twitch on YouTube. In a video slump, everything has already been covered. Well, yeah, I mean, to some degree, and that's kind of why a lot of the stuff I do when I was doing the weekly videos is a lot of it was just my take on things, and seeing what everybody else thought. And a lot of them were topics that were already covered. It doesn't necessarily have to be something new. It's just, at some point, I mean, they call them social. They call it social media for a reason. It tends to be very social. Um, much more than a presentation kind of thing. And I think one of the important things to social media is bringing yourself to it. So, people get to know you. And, even if it takes you 2 years to get 1,000 subs, you get there because, people get to know you, and, we tend to like people. So your photos you've been doing are really outstanding. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that. I've been working at it pretty heavy, actually. It's been driving me nuts that I haven't been able to get out and shoot photos of people. I actually had little story for you. So there's a local model who does a lot of pictures. She's really pretty well known in this area, and she reached out to me and said, "Hey, if you ever want to collaborate, let's do this thing." And we shoot differently. She shoots a lot more like implied nudes and stuff like that. A lot more scantily dressed and that kind of thing. A lot sexier than I shoot. Um, don't have a problem with that. It's just not what I do. It's not how I shoot. So at first I was like, yeah, we don't really have anything to shoot. And then I went back and I was like, no, that's cool, because she does shoot other things. I had to go look for them a little bit, but she does great pictures, in clothing. So I went back and I was like, yeah, I'd love to collaborate. That'd be great. We'll get together. So I had this thing set up for Saturday. She's like, oh, I'm off all week for probably obvious reasons. Let's all get together, shoot. So I'm thinking, cool. I got this lined up for Saturday, 3 o'clock downtown. Well, almost downtown. So about 2:30. For some reason during the week, I started thinking it was 4 o'clock. At about 2:30, like, I better start getting ready. I told my wife, I'm like, oh, I'm going to jump in the shower real quick before I go. I was like, oh man, it's 2:30. The shoot's at 3. So now I'm freaking out because I don't like it when a model's late, and I don't want to be that person myself. I can't complain about it if a model's late, if I'm late. So I texted her really quick. I'm like, oh, I'm really so sorry. I thought it was later, and I actually thought I was going to be early, but I'm not. Blah blah. I'm all freaking out over it. So I went in the other room real quick to do something before, because now I don't have time for the shower. I've just got to go and get stuff and get on the bike and hopefully get down there. I was going to ride the bike. So I looked back at the computer and she's like, wait, we never decided on a day. What? Scroll back and yeah, we never decided on a day. So I'm like, well, then I'm not late. It's like, I knew that. I was just testing you. So we rescheduled sometime this week. The day after that, somebody had texted me who I've shot before, and she's like, "Hey, we're all in makeup and getting our hair done, and the photographer that we had bailed on us. Do you want to come shoot?" And I'm like, I with the first shoot, I would have been outdoors. I would have been able to keep my distance from everybody. I didn't have to touch anything except my motorcycle, which I would have touched anyways, and the camera. But it was a pretty safe setup, so not a big deal. With this one, it's a couple of models at least, judging from the conversation. I don't know where they want to shoot. It could be inside the house, inside somebody else's house. I don't know. I don't really want to go out and expose myself as much as I'd love to do it. So I kind of bailed out of that one. So, I hated doing it because A, they really needed a photographer. B, it would have been a great opportunity to shoot a couple of people. It would have been, free work, but exposure's worth something. And C, I'm just really itching to get out and shoot something. And it's been driving me bonkers being in the house. Let me back up. Still doing IT. Yes, Dennis, I am still doing IT. Like I said, I started a job in October that allows me to work from home. Actually, it kind of demands that I work from home most of the time. And we occasionally have meetings and, with customers and stuff like that. But a lot of the customers have slowed down now, too. I actually went to Atlanta 2 weeks ago, maybe 2.5 weeks ago, and had a meeting there and, tried not to touch anything and, the whole thing. I'm not a big fan of Atlanta anyways. It's super busy, and it was that morning. So, yeah, I am still doing it. But, one of the problems with working from home is, okay, so I used to go to work and I'd come home and spend my time in my room and working on stuff. And now I spend all my time in my room working on work, and then I work on my own stuff, but I'm all in the same place. So getting out is pretty important for, mental stability. And I haven't been able to do that with all this stuff going on. So it's all good. Mike, how are you, sir? Thanks for showing up, man. I appreciate it. I know this is kind of early, but appreciate you showing up. I just figured most people would catch the replay, what do I think of the D3500 as a starter camera? I think it's great. I think any camera that you start on, I think the trick is, well, I mean, you could take a decent picture on a cell phone or, a point and shoot. You can take a good picture on almost everything. They say that gear doesn't matter, and to some degree that's true. You still can learn, composition and take a good picture. Where you really want to start in is with some sort of camera that has interchangeable lenses, because that'll make a huge difference in what you're able to take and the kind of the ways you're able to manipulate a picture. Preferably you want something that you can set the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO manually, which most decent cameras today will. I mean, everything from, I don't know, maybe $150 up. You have to check, but to be able to set those settings is pretty important if you want to manipulate your picture again, to get that fuzzy background, or to be able to zoom in and to be able to control the light and that kind of thing. That doesn't mean you have to set all those. You can put your camera in auto, but it gives you that flexibility if you want it. So, and I'm sure the D3500 will do that. So, and Nikon's a great camera. I mean, I'm a Canon guy, but it's kind of like motorcycles, right? I like Harleys. I don't love Harleys, but I like them. I love most of the Hondas I've seen. I don't own one, but I still like them. I mean, anything on two wheels is fun. Is going to be fun to some degree, and it's the same thing with cameras. Any camera that you buy that's got those things in it is going to be a good camera for you. Now, if you're going to be a professional shooter and go shoot sports or something like that, then you have to find something specific that you're looking for. But yeah, 3500 is a good one. I like the Nikons. I don't have any. I probably never will. I was out shooting with one person, and he was actually going to get the picture, and he handed me his Nikon, and I was just lost. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I got nothing. Um, I just don't know the menus. I don't know the buttons. You put me on a Canon, I can make it work. See who else we got. What else we got going on? Yeah, I'm glad you're doing good up there, Mike. It's you know, interesting times we live in. So, coffee. I know I was talking about coffee, and you see the tea bag. So, my wife found these teas, roasted herbal tea, that is come in like coffee flavors, and you're never going to get Starbucks out of it. They're not that strong, but I kind of stopped drinking coffee in the morning because it was giving me heartburn and upsetting my stomach and stuff. And a lot of people said, well, for me it was coffee, so I kind of gave it up. Um, and thought, I can't drink coffee anymore. That's terrible. So she found me this stuff, and it's not bad. It's weak, but you kind of get a coffee flavor, which I can live with that. Um, but they're pretty decent, pretty decent. Now I have since gone back and drank some Starbucks. It seems like if I have creamer in it, it's not bad. It doesn't bother me. But yeah, it was tough for a while. I couldn't drink coffee at all. But this stuff is pretty good. It doesn't really. I don't think it tastes like tea. I think it tastes much more like coffee, but it is weak coffee. Not like Waffle House weak. If you go into Waffle House, in case you don't know this, this is a side. This is a side tip for everybody that showed up. If you go into Waffle House, they have dark roast that they don't normally keep on tap. And if you ask them for the dark roast, I think it's a much better coffee. It's much stronger than that dishwater that they normally serve. I won't drink Waffle House coffee if I can help it. But the dark roast is pretty palatable. It's funny, I used to drink Dunkin's, and I can't do it anymore. I don't love it. I became a Starbucks addict, and Dunkin's now is just like there's something wrong with this. For a while I was getting to be a coffee connoisseur. So everybody's doing okay. Enough food and toilet paper and all that stuff. I don't know what the rush on toilet paper really was all about. Maybe because people know they're full of. Well, that's not important. Um, yeah, I can't do Dunkin's. I was at a business meeting in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago. Actually, gosh, I guess Nashville was about 2 months ago now. Vegas was a couple weeks ago, and there is a guy that works for my company that works out of Canada, and he made the comment that he doesn't, or somebody else made the comment that he said that he doesn't like U.S. coffee. So I talked to him about it, and I'm like, "You don't like U.S. coffee?" He's like, "No, no, it's garbage. No offense, but it's garbage." Really? And I wasn't offended. It was I was curious. It's like, really, if you think U.S. coffee is garbage, what am I missing? Dunkin's, yeah. The problem with Dunkin'. Now I do like Dunkin' Donuts. I do like Dunkin's donuts. Actually, I have a hankering for an apple fritter right now. That'd be delicious. So I was going to have coffee this morning with you guys because I'll deal with it. Um, having coffee with the peeps, and because I haven't been drinking coffee, my wife changed the way she makes coffee. She doesn't get up every morning or set it up every night, so it'll be ready in the morning. She's been reheating a lot of it. So I got up this morning and there was a little bit of coffee in the bottom. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to have coffee like herbal tea. Of course, it probably means I'm in for a nap later, but whatever. Chocolate Crulla. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'd be good too. Yeah, an apple fritter. I would love an apple fritter. But so yeah, still doing okay. I'm really in a good position, I think, because I am working from home and I am still working every day. And which, oh, sorry, I don't know if that reverberated in the mic, but I hit the headset. Um, I am still working every day, and which is why I can't go past 8:30. Can't go over an hour. If we go that long, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, but I've still got a paycheck coming in. I'm still paying off the bills. I'm in a really good place. It just worked out really well. Whether you're one for divine providence or not, it worked out really well. And I think of it in the terms of, well, I've got a great job because um, that's an opportunity to help other people who are going through all this other stuff. Um, I've got a job that keeps me at home to keep me healthy, so I can help other people that are going through this stuff. And we've kind of been trying to. I mean, the only thing I've really got to offer is some financial assistance, and only a little bit of it because you know we do have to take care of ourselves as well. But and it's not like I can go hang out with people really because got to stay healthy. But internet issues, internet wireless issues. I don't know. I don't think so. Not around here. I'm not. Most of my connectivity in the house is wired. Ultimately, I've got wireless down to my cable modem, but I mean, I've been okay here, and I haven't been out and around. So, which is why I'm doing it live because it's not like I can mount the camera on the bike, but it's just in the garage. And part of that's pandemic, and a lot of it actually is that I just haven't been going anywhere. Um, which is ironic because I actually could. There's nothing stopping me from getting on the bike and just going and riding. I went out on a shoot the other night and I took the bike with me. And the first guy I ran into, I went to shake his hand. He's like, "Oh, yeah, coronavirus," and we elbow bumped. And then I was talking to the other guy, and I went to shake his hand just out of instinct. I'm like, "Scott, right?" He's like, "Yeah." And I shook his hand. I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to be shaking hands." I'm like, "The good news is I work from home all the time, so I'm low risk." He's like, "Yeah, but when you do go out, you touch stuff." I'm like, "But I have gloves on almost all the time when I go out, so I'm still pretty low risk." Netflix has been pretty good for me wired. I don't know about wireless. I mean, once you get it to your house, it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, it hasn't been too bad. Now, I would guess, I'm wondering if maybe Netflix themselves aren't seeing a load with everybody being available now. Especially all the school kids streaming videos. Netflix and chilling at home. Um, that's possible. That's possible. So, yeah, we made over 1,000 subs. I know that's not. I know 1,000 subs isn't a big deal to stars, superstars like Mike, but pretty cool thing for me. My opinion of wireless mesh systems. I think they're pretty nice. And I was looking at one. I've actually looked at them a couple of times. I'm just cheap, so I haven't done it. The ability to just walk through the house and not get any dead spots would be really nice. But I mean, I've only got my house is 16,000 feet, anyways. 1,600 square feet. I live in a mansion. 1,600 square feet. Um, I think that's actually a little higher than it actually is. That's just what's on the paperwork. And we kind of only live out of part of it. My wife and I. Now that everybody's moved out, we don't take up the whole house for the most part. I'm actually rebuilding the room over the garage to be a photo studio. Well, planning on it. I haven't started yet. But yeah, they're pretty cool. I mean, I think Google makes one that looked pretty decent. I don't really trust anything that Google makes because I know they're farming my information. But there's a couple other companies that do decent ones. I think Netgear has one out that I like Netgear gear. That's what I'm using for my current wireless. Death Wish coffee, yeah, I've seen it. I haven't tasted it. A new baby boom 9 months from now. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I know my daughter-in-law is. I think she said she was 23 weeks along now. So we'll be one pretty soon. Pretty soon, another Lonsberry floating around, or technically another Hanley, I guess. Um, I don't know if any of you ever saw the video of where I found out that I'm not a Lonsberry at all. I'm a Hanley. Who knew? So much work to change all the paperwork, though. I'll just be a Lonsberry, whatever. It's not worth changing it. Coronials. Yeah, no kidding. So, did everybody get their taxes submitted yet? I'm actually still waiting to submit mine. I've got a few things that I've got left to put in, and I haven't sent them in yet. But I'm delaying. So you get those things that you just can't overcome. I just can't put in these last three pieces of information. But other than that, they're ready to go, which is a shame because I actually have money coming back. Yeah, it's been extended, which is nice. Which is nice. I would have gotten it in before the deadline, anyways. But I usually have it in and have the money back by now. But I've just been dragging this year, and part of it was because I thought, well, with starting the business now, it's going to be so much more complex. Um, but I just didn't even claim the business because I didn't make anything. I lost far more than I made. Um, it's a terrible business. Terrible business. Um, but next year might be better. Next year might be better. And I'm thinking if I redo that room as a studio, then I can claim that. I think. I'm pretty sure I can. Anyways, I'll have to check on it, but I'm pretty sure I can. So yeah, we canceled our cruise. My wife had talked me into a cruise, and if you've seen the the channel before, you know that I'm not a big cruise fan. I was actually kind of terrified of the cruise. Um, but I was going to go on it with her, and who knows? Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. If I make it back alive, it'll be great. And I was certainly going to take the camera to get some pictures. And the original thought was I was going to go to Cuba, and I thought, well, not everybody goes to Cuba. That'll be cool. It'll be something different. And then they came out and said, yeah, you can't really go to Cuba. And I know at least you could still fly there. Well, at least you could. But I know the cruise lines were all like, yeah, ixnay on the UBK, so I'm like, oh man, I really wanted to go to Cuba. So I was stuck going to the Bahamas. I have to go to the Bahamas, which honestly, I don't care about. I'm a pasty white guy. I don't belong on the beach. But I was going to go take the camera and make the best of it. But we put it off just because they were like, well, you can postpone it up until March 31st or the end of March. But you have to let us know. So not knowing what was going to happen in April, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to, we'll postpone it. I mean, if we have to go a little bit later, it's fine. It doesn't hurt anything. But I don't know what's going to happen with all of this in the next month and a half. And it probably worked out pretty good because it doesn't seem to be getting any better. So yeah, we postponed it. What we really did was we canceled it, but we get that money as a credit if we book it within a year. It's a way for them to hold on to that money instead of me getting it back and then just reapplying it. So yeah, I would have liked to have gone on the cruise though. I heard through the news, Mike talked about the cruise ships being floating petri dishes. Through the news, take it or leave it, I heard that they were actually pretty diligent about keeping the ship clean and everything else. So, and I'm guessing that, there probably aren't a lot of people on the ship right now. So, excuse me. So, I don't know. But I mean, just to be on the safe side, is it worth the risk of even getting sick? I don't want a normal flu. I certainly wouldn't fly right now. Nah. I mean, half the time, even without the flu going around, I get sick after I've been flying on an airplane just because of the closed-in air and all that stuff. So, no cruise. Been thinking a lot about where I'm going this year, where I want to try and go. Texas is still on the books. I mean, we'll see how all of the rest of this plays out, but I would love to ride to Texas. I call it my Glenn Campbell Memorial Ride because I just want to get into Texas. And I think Galveston's a pretty good place to go. It's not real far into the state. That way I can pick up Texas, Louisiana. I already have Alabama. It gets me 2 more states that I can say I've ridden in. Michigan, right? Yeah. I almost got stranded in Michigan. Yeah, no, I'd love to come back up that way. And I need to anyways, because I could come up through Michigan and then swing west and pick up that line of states coming down. So yeah, I need to get, it gets harder as you move your states out. Of course, if I was on a big Honda Love Boat, I could probably ride more, but no, it's so Texas is still on the books. I'd really like to go back to Cocoa Beach and Kennedy Space Center again this year. I've been to Florida so many times. I almost hate the idea of riding down I-95. I just hate the idea. I could take back roads, but I'm still not past that point where I want to get to where I'm going. One thing I would like to do this year is, and it doesn't really involve the, yeah, those Hondas are like Bentleys. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you don't even have to shift into Canada. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I'm still working on the States. I don't know if I need to work outside of the country yet, but yeah, I mean, I could. Yeah, it looks beautiful up there too. There was some movie. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up. But it was this guy had like terminal cancer or something like that. So instead of getting treated, he decided he was going to ride across Canada, and it was a pretty good movie. It was if you like riding movies, that was a good one because it was gorgeous scenery and it looked nice. One thing I'd like to do this year is, depending on how everything works out and finances and everything else, is I'd like to go back to Cleveland and I'd like to actually take my wife out to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this time because it was a lot of fun for me. I'd like to see it again. Um, I've been telling her since before we got married, 30 years ago, that we'd take a trip to New York, and we just haven't really been in a position to do it. Um, and the same trip, maybe we stop by and visit New Hampshire again because I haven't been there since 2016 when I went up for Laconia Bike Week. But there are places I'd like to go take photos of there too. So maybe that's a week or maybe a week and a half to 2 week trip for us, sometime this year if everything works out right. Of course, now we've got the doggies, and that complicates things. It was easier when we had kids because we could leave them. The dogs, not so much. Trans Canada Highway. Yeah. I mean, there's so many great places to ride around the world. I mean, just in this hemisphere, there's so many fantastic places that I'd like to ride. Still like to do Pacific Coast. I'd still, before it's all developed, I'd love to ride to Mexico. I'd love to ride in Mexico. I don't know why. Don't know. I don't have a reason. Just, I have that. I guess maybe I do. It's that romantic vision of riding through the Mexican desert in my head, and I don't know if it would be like that, but I mean, it still looks like it's that way in some of the things you see coming out of there. So that would be a blast. But I'd be happy just getting back up to the wheels through time and seeing North Carolina again at this point. At this point, I'd be happy going down into Charleston and actually going someplace, just really bottled into the house. And like I said, I'm not sure there's a reason for that. I'm not sure there's a reason. So, anybody been watching any TV? I know a lot of people have kind of cut the cord and don't even watch TV anymore. Obviously, Nick, you're trying to with the Netflix and all. I've been binging on Space Night on Amazon Prime. Barbecue, yeah. Pikes Peak. Pikes Peak. Okay, I'm a doofus. I can't think of where Pikes Peak is. Hotel canceled. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. It's funny. I get these messages from different companies that, we're doing our bit for the coronavirus spread and that kind of stuff. And some of these companies are like, what are you doing? I mean, it's not like I come see you. It's not like you're coming to see me. It's all electronic anyways. I mean, what exactly is your, what's your outtake on, the hotels sending out, we're concerned about your safety for, with the coronavirus. Okay. Are you telling me you're closing? Then just say you're closing, Yeah. There's a lot of posturing going on, I guess is what I'm getting at. Oh, Colorado. Yeah, I thought so. Actually, after I said it, I maybe Colorado. Yeah, 14,000 feet. I wonder how that would be on a carbureted bike if you'd have to adjust. Or, well, I mean, I imagine it would probably still run, just not well. But at 14,000 feet, luckily with electronic fuel, everything gets a little bit easier. But I wonder about stuff like that sometimes. That's where my head goes. Watched A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, the movie, the Tom Hanks movie the other night. And I've noticed that as I get older, my camera gets out of focus. Here, let's do that. Okay, that's better. As I get older, I get squishier. When I was a younger guy, I kind of was insensitive actually. Now, I see puppies and I start tearing up. It's just terrible. I'm trying to be all cool the whole time, like, oh, my eye itches. But there was at least one scene in there that I was like, oh, that's nice. I turned into a big marshmallow. I've been watching all the Bond movies. We went back all the way to the beginning, and I've been watching all of those. And yeah, tough biker, right? And those are hilarious, kind of. I didn't realize how campy they were any other time that I've watched them, but now that I've gone back and watched them, and that was probably, when was the last time I watched them? Probably 6, 7 years ago. I went through them all, and I just didn't realize how silly some of them were. Um, but going back this time, it's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. It's like Batman, the original Batman series on TV. When I was a child, I didn't realize the humor. I didn't know the humor in it. It was just Batman. I took it at face value. And now that I go back and watch Batman, it's hilarious. Because I mean, it was always supposed to be a spoof, but I didn't know what a spoof was when I was at the age where I was watching it. Oh my goodness. And Bond has kind of been the same way. I know, as you get up through the years, it gets a little more serious. Right now, I'm on the Pierce Brosnan years. I just started. Well, I haven't started them yet. The next movie is GoldenEye. So we start with Pierce Brosnan. I'm through. Obviously made it through Sean Connery, Roger Moore, George Lazenby. That one movie he did. Roger Moore was okay. I thought he was a little bit old for the Bond part. He's a little bit old to be this international playboy spy womanizer guy. It's just a little weird. Isn't she a little young for you? Who was the other guy? Timothy Dalton. Didn't like him as Bond at all. Pierce Brosnan, if I remember correctly, he did a good Bond. So I'm kind of looking forward to these movies. And then we get into Daniel Craig, and I thought Daniel, he's kind of a different character. He's not like, if I kiss the woman, she'll give me she'll be on my side. I mean, he would sway women with a kiss. Sean Connery would. I don't think Daniel Craig is that kind of character. He's a little darker, brooding, a little more dangerous than Connery or Moore. But I like those movies too. Watching jazz documentaries and all the videos about saxophones. There you go. I assume you've been playing the whole time. I actually got a. I'm thinking what Mike needs to do is a live YouTube stream performance thing. I think that'd be great. I'd watch it. Absolutely. I haven't played guitar not really in like a year and a half. I just put it away. I was a little, for reasons, I was a little, bitter about the whole thing. I'll go into it briefly. People pay me to stop playing. I'm the same way if I were to set up my own porn channel. If you don't send me money, I'm getting naked right now. Is that? I guess it's still extortion. I don't think it's prostitution or anything, but I think it's still extortion. In my case, it'd be terrorism. But I stopped playing guitar for about a year and a half, and I'd pick it up every now and then, and I wasn't really interested. And I bought a new amp, a new Marshall 50-watt amp. It's pretty cool. So I've been playing again and actually loving it. I'm just playing for me at this point. And for a long time, I didn't. I played, because I was either in the music ministry at church or, I was making music and doing albums and playing out, playing live gigs and stuff like that. And there's always this dream that, I may not be Aerosmith, but I'd like to be able to make some money at it, get some recognition, get some traction. And that just never happened. And after decades, I kind of got to the point where it's like, I've wasted so much time here. So I haven't been doing it, but I've been picking it back up and just for me, jamming with the records and listen to me, jamming with with Spotify and just having a blast. Of course, my wife has been subjected to a whole bunch of '80s metal and '70s classics, but she's living through it. She's living through it. She just likes watching me play, so she's okay with it. But yeah, I've been doing that, and I've actually been looking forward to doing it, which is a big thing. So I'm kind of in that boat with you, where it's like I'm excited about it again, getting there. So what we do is we get an online moto vlog musician stream jam session going. I don't know how that would work, but one to keep in mind. So yeah, good times, good times. Dennis, I didn't realize you were a ham operator. Maybe I did, and it just got buried in all of the other things that you're doing, like writing, and we talked about photography a little bit and that kind of stuff here and there. I didn't realize you were a ham operator too. I haven't been on the ham. That's another thing that I've been looking at um, recently too. Just getting back to that. I've got the gear sitting here, and part of it goes to I'm trying to clean everything up. I'm not a big minimalist, um, but I don't like clutter, and I don't like I want to get rid of stuff um, that I'm not using, and I've got a ton of it, just a ton of it. That's just clutter, and I hate it. So I've kind of been doing the minimalist thing to some degree, but my thought is if you're going to use it, keep it. If it makes you happy, keep it. If the trick is if I'm going to use it someday. I know we've got a lot of stuff that I'm going to use this someday. Someday I'm going to use that white board, for something, and a lot of times someday never comes. And that's just junk clutter. So I get rid of a lot of stuff. I've got a pile of stuff in the other room that I'm just getting rid of. If I can't take it down to Goodwill, I'll throw it away. I mean, a lot of it's, some of it's good, some of it isn't. I actually just gave away a Chromebook the other day. It's like, I don't use this, get rid of it. I've got um, an Amazon Fire tablet that I don't really use, and I've really been debating whether or not to get rid of it. But sometimes I use it, but really not enough to keep it. I've got a scanner that I don't use that I've been looking to get rid of for a while. But I've got the ham gear here, and I don't really want to get rid of it because I do like using it very occasionally. So I've been trying to look at that too. Yeah, I'm AK. Oh gosh, see this tells you how long it's been, right? AK4KZ. Yeah, that's it. AK4KZ. Alpha Kilo 4 Kilo Zulu. Um, how long have you been doing that, Dennis? The ham stuff. I got my first ham license when I was in California back in. Okay, Mike, thanks for dropping by, man. Have a good day. I appreciate you being here. All right. Thanks to you too, Nick. I appreciate you being here as well. Hopefully you get that worked out and life gets better. Wireless is kind of terrible half the time, anyways, but have a good day, sir, both of you. Yeah, I'm only going to go for about another 15 minutes here, anyways, but 18 years. Wow. Yep, me too. I'm an extra as well. I got my first license when I was in California back in gosh, the late '80s, I think, early '90s maybe. Um, and I just got technician, and then I let it lapse. And at the time, you had to take the code test. Um, so I got it. I did my 5 words a minute and got my technician. And I really wanted the technician because um, you could do 2 meter, and at the time, packet was a big thing, so you could pack it along, and I could get up over the mountain. I had a like a 2 watt handheld that I had my packet hooked into, and I could get up over the mountains. There was a relay up there that would relay down into San Francisco, and there was a guy in San Francisco that would do a satellite hop all the way back to the East Coast, and then you could hop up and down the East Coast all off a little 2 watt handheld. It was amazing, and that stirred my geek creative juices. So I loved it. All right, all right, all right. But I let it lapse, and then well, it must be like 9 years ago now. I got it again, and I just couldn't stop. Especially if I didn't have to take the code test. So I went all the way to extra, and I actually have to renew it. I think this year, later this year, or next year. I forget which, but I know I have to do that. Hopefully, I don't forget it right before I have to do it, because it'd be a shame that if I knew it and still didn't do it. Would I get it again if I had to? Yeah, maybe. I had call cards somewhere. Oh, I still got one. Hold on, I got a call card right here. Yeah, AK4KZ. That's me. Trying to get to where it focuses. I think the light's really the problem. Got my picture on the back from when I also didn't have a beard, but I did have more hair. Not much, but more. Radios are like bikes, keep getting a better one. Yeah, I got into about 4 years ago or so, maybe 5. I really got a Jones to do satellite, and I got the rotator thing out on the pole and got that all set up. And at the time, I had a duplex Yaesu that I bought at a yard sale, and I was trying to use it. And it was kind of cool to play around with. I actually did get a satellite communication or two, but not many. I mean, it was kind of tough doing the satellite thing. I didn't have it automated, and I didn't have the tracker and all that stuff, so I had to move the antenna manually, and I'm not necessarily in a good place, and I didn't put a lot of money into it, but I'd actually still kind of like to do satellite. But right now, I just like to use the radio, and I haven't been doing it. I keep thinking about getting a CB, and I've always been somebody who wanted to listen to stuff. I do a whole lot more listening. I did a lot of digital. Um, I still get the weather facts sometimes every now and then when I get into it, and I'll look at the weather maps up on the and the navigational charts and stuff up on the screen. But I was always into that kind of stuff. So CB, I keep thinking, yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a CB again, and then I go listen to CB channels because my radio will cover them. And no, I don't need a CB. That place is a jungle. It hasn't gotten any better, and probably never will. But yeah, I'm an ICOM guy. I've got my ICOM. What is it? See, this is terrible. It's been so long that I don't even remember what my radio is. It's actually a mobile, but it's like got all the bands and stuff that I've got set up here as a base. I think last week I was looking at new base stations. Thinking I'd like to get a little bit more into the HF stuff. I've got 100 watts. Every year they do the 13 Colonies special event. Have you ever heard of it? It's basically you make a call to the original 13 colonies and log it, and they send you like this beautiful. I'll show you. Let me pull it off the wall real quick. Blow the dust off of it. They send you. Come on, focus. Oh, see, now I did it. Let's see if I can get this thing to refocus. There we go. Focus on that. And they send you this certificate, and they have different themes. Like one year was ships and all that stuff. So they do that on the 4th of July week every year. Last year was the first year I didn't do it in a very long time. I don't know why. I was just busy, or I don't know. I don't have an excuse. I mean, if I had one, it would just be an excuse. But yeah, they do that. That's kind of a fun thing to do. Ironically, South Carolina is a little tough to get because the station is so close. I actually did, and I'm not that good at Morse code. I actually did a Morse contact one time, and the way I did it was to program the responses into my radio, and I could just hit the button and have it send. And then I was decoding it through the packet modem. Well, that's good to know. I actually have I got a 2-meter mobile that I've been interested in selling for a very long time. I bought it for packet. Do I get was? No, I don't. I don't think so. I don't remember what it is. How bad is that? It's really been a long time since gotten into it. I just, man, so many other things to do, and that's another reason I got rid of that 72 iron head. I've got so many other things on my plate that I don't have the time for them all, and I certainly don't have the time to do them well. So you got to pick and choose. And right then, the photography was at the forefront, and streaming. I was putting a lot of time into streaming, um, or making videos, and I still put. Oh, worked all states. No, no, I have not got. You mean all 50, or within the 13 colonies? I did do all 13 colonies. I haven't worked all states though. No. Actually, gosh, I don't even think I have my tracking software anymore because I changed operating systems. I'd have to go dig that stuff back up, or just do it again. I mean, if you get into it, just do it again. It's that easy. Um, Plus, that way it's all fresh. Yeah, I was looking at 200-watt transceivers about a week ago, but well, you make a serious jump in price then. And considering I don't do it a lot, it's really hard for me to justify it. HRD, yeah, I did. I did use HRD for a while, and then I went on to the Mac, and I had my Mac programs that I was using when I was doing a lot of my activity. So the bulk of my activity, I was using the Mac, and I tried to load HRD. I don't know, 2 months ago, and it was asking for a library that I didn't have, and apparently couldn't get. 800 watts. Wow. So you can pretty much talk anywhere. That's one of the things I like about the 100 watts is it adds to the challenge. And yeah, it's a little frustrating. I can't work a state as quickly as I could if I had more power and could just punch through. It takes a lot more diligence and time, but it also adds to the challenge. So I feel pretty good about just doing the 100 watts. Some of those guys are out there, and there's a category for low power. So actually, if you step down to like 5 watts, if you work everybody with 5 watts or less, it's actually another little badge that you get or something. I can't imagine doing that. Just can't imagine. It'd be fun though. You definitely have to get some skip, but. Yeah, it's I mean, that's another thing that I probably should be doing while all this stuff is going on. But I mean, honestly, I've been working. I'm still not spending as much time. Yeah, QRP. I still haven't been spending as much time working as I probably should. I've got so much work to do that I can actually do. But you can't work 24/7. And I'm trying to fit all this other stuff, all my other interests. And like I said, that's why I got rid of the iron head. I've got too much going on. My son told me several years ago, he's like, you'll never get bored in retirement. You'll never be one of those people that retires and you're bored because you've got so many different interests and things that you like to do. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And, I've grown a few since then. So yeah, it's endless. Everything interests me. Well, not everything. I really don't care much about computers anymore. But yeah, things are going good with the new job. We managed to get everything paid off except the house. We're working on paying that off now. If everything continues going like it should, we'll get the house paid off this year, be able to take some trips and spend some money on ham gear and that kind of stuff. Of course, I probably going to need to put some away for my retirement because I haven't even looked at my 401k. I had less than 100,000 in there before, and I lost a quarter of it last time I looked, and that was early on. The car alarm. When I lived in California, I bought this old transceiver, tube transceiver. I forget who made it. I could probably look it up if I could remember who it was. Oh, it was a Swan. It was an old Swan that was all tube driven, and I don't know how much power it kicked out. This is when I first started getting into ham radio. And so help me, when I keyed it up, the lights in the house would get brighter. Just bizarre. Do I have any desktop memory laying around? Yeah, I might have some. I've actually got a computer in the other room I'm just going to throw away. I got a computer and another box of parts that I'm just going to ditch. It doesn't work. It runs, but every 30 seconds or so it was rebooting. So I don't know if it was a heat problem or I don't know what's wrong with it. Yeah, I got some. I don't know how good it is or what it's worth, but I can pull it out of the computer. It's I forget what it is. It's not terribly fast either. I got some. I'll take a picture of it and send it to you. I'll pull one of them out and send you a picture. You can see what I've got. I can also read off the label and figure out what it is. But yeah, sure. Yeah, I got some. I got a motherboard I ordered and it doesn't work. I don't know if it doesn't. Yeah, I got a motherboard I ordered. I've actually got two motherboards on it. Yeah, I mean, if you're interested, you can have this computer. Um, I could set it out at the end of the driveway and you can come by, when I'm safely away and pick the stuff up. Um, with the caveat that it doesn't work right. I mean, it does power up. Um, it had a lot of dust in it. I blew the dust out and it seemed to help for a little bit, but then it just kept rebooting. Got a SATA cable. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's a working, actually, does it have a SATA cable in it? No, it doesn't. I don't, it might, it might, it had a, it had a PATA drive in it and I was going to put a SATA drive in it. Lysol the computer. Yeah. Yeah. Can't hurt, right? But yeah, you're welcome to those parts. I mean, I literally I had the computer that I was using in the living room as a VM server, and it started rebooting every 30 seconds. So I just went without for a while. Now I've got another box that I'm using, and at the same time, I was trying to get a computer for my son to use, put one together for him to use, and his broke, and I kept getting parts, and I think I replaced everything in the computer, and then I finally got tired of him. Like, you know what? It's not worth it. Just get a computer. So I've got a bunch of parts that may or may not be brand new. I've got the computer that was in the living room that, I mean, I think all the components are probably pretty sound. It just kept rebooting. That could be anything. That could be absolutely anything. Motherboard. It's a cheap motherboard that I've had for quite some time. So could be anything. But yeah, you can have the parts. And the parts have been safely quarantined in my house away from any coronavirus. So you're more than welcome to those. I've got a TiVo in the other room that I have upgraded. Last I knew it worked, but I mean, if you want to pay for TiVo service, it's $15 a month. You could activate that. It's an older one though. I probably don't want it, but yeah, I got some stuff in there. All right, I will likely be around. So, all right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up because we've been going an hour, and of course at this point it's just you and me talking, which is fine. But we don't need YouTube for that. Anybody who's watching the video after the fact has long since stopped watching by now. So, and even the people who were on the video have stopped watching by now. So it's been an hour. I got to get ready for work. I got about a half hour before I got to get back in gear, get it going again. But yeah, I appreciate you showing up. And anybody else who may watch this video or who did show up, I appreciate you being here as well. I really wasn't sure how it was going to work. I've been doing a lot of stuff on Twitch, a lot of the photography stuff I've been editing and that kind of stuff live on Twitch. And if nobody shows up, basically you spend the whole time talking to yourself. So I've gotten a little bit better at talking to myself. But it's always nice when people show up because, well, then you're not just rambling. So, and, if you hadn't shown up, we wouldn't have been talking about ham radio. See what I'm saying? So yeah, I've been over there quite a bit, just doing editing and chit chatting, and I want to do some more of that because it's kind of neat. It's a different audience, it's a different gig, but hopefully, I mean, at some point I got to get out on the bike. I did get out about 2 weeks ago. I was like, hey, Harley Handler, how are you? We were just getting ready to wrap up here, but I'm glad you did drop in. I appreciate it. I might hang out for a couple more minutes. But yeah, I just got out on the bike and remembered, oh yeah, I really like doing this. This is a lot of fun. I forgot, because now that I'm working from home, I really don't have any place to go. And when I do, it's usually with my wife. And we take the car when she comes along. Or if I'm taking camera gear, if I've got a bunch of camera gear to load up, I take the car most of the time. All right, Dennis. Like I said, appreciate you showing up. Real good. How's everything? It's doing good, really. I mean, I can't complain. I'm well. I'm sequestered. I got food. I got toilet paper. I didn't hoard, but I still have toilet paper because we just use it like normal people. So um, things are going okay so far, all things considered. And we just went through a whole discussion about movies and bikes and ham radio and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's been pretty good. Been pretty good. How you doing where you are? Staying safe and healthy, I assume. Just stay indoors today for the next 3 days, safe and well. Thank God. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I was saying that with this new job where I work from home. I mean, and it was ideal. I couldn't have gotten it at a better time. I started this job in October. It kind of came out of nowhere, and it's a really good job, and I love it a lot. The downside, well, the upside and the downside is that I work from home and most of the time, anyways. Occasionally, I'll have to go out for a meeting. Like a couple weeks ago, I had to go to Atlanta for a meeting with a customer, but now my customers aren't having meetings either. So, I mean, I'm just at home. So the trick is, when you're working from home, you have to find ways to get out and break that monotony up. And with all this going on, there's really no place to go or no reason to go any place to break up any monotony. So that's been a little difficult, but I mean, compared to how others have it, I'm doing really well. I can't complain at all. So it's all good. We're hanging in there. Yeah, it is nice working from home, and occasionally I have to go for an extended lunch or something. I'm assuming nobody from the company is watching this video. And occasionally I get to go for an extended lunch and go take photos or whatever. So not often. I try not to abuse it, and I put in the time elsewhere. And sometimes I'm working on a Saturday or a Sunday or something like that, or late at night. And I mean, I make up the time, but yeah, it is. I like the flexibility for sure, but man, I mean, I really haven't had a reason to go out, and that's really impacted my riding a lot. And like I said, when I do get on the bike, I'm like, oh, this is how great this is. I remember now. This is awesome. I should never let a tank of gas go to waste again. This is great. It's like learning all over again. Man, I hope I still remember how to ride this thing. But it comes back to you pretty quickly. It comes back pretty quick. So I can't imagine some of these people that get locked up for years and then have to, get back out and ride again. What that must feel like. But no, it's we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Everybody's safe and sound and healthy, and we have toilet paper. How's the coffee table? How's the coffee table photo book thing going for you? Much like my music career, I haven't really been pushing it. I just kind of, que sera, sera. It is what it is. I've sold a few, not a lot. I actually dropped the price down to 35 instead of, I think it was 50, just to drop it down some. I mean, I have to make enough from it to make the money back to pay off what I put into getting it made. But no, it hasn't really been selling. And honestly, I haven't been pushing it a lot. I certainly wouldn't now, just because, I mean, most people are struggling for money. I set out my banner a couple of weeks ago that I was booking photo shoots for headshots and portraits and stuff like that. And I was going to start publishing it out last week. And I thought, yes, people have time, but a lot of people are really concerned about money. I don't know if this is the best time to be doing something like that. Book a photo shoot now and get a free roll of toilet paper. So I've been kind of holding off on that. I just really haven't been real salesy, in the past couple of weeks. Just people need to hold on to their money. So yeah, it hasn't been going great, but that's fine. Life goes on. it wasn't a huge investment. It didn't break. I didn't mortgage the house or anything, so it was it's fine. It's fine. I'm a little more disappointed with the fact that like Easy Riders was canceled this year, even before the coronavirus. Although honestly, I mean, I guess that works out pretty well because it was discovered in December and Easy Riders was in January. So maybe that would have been spreading it around. I don't know. Um, yeah, Easy Riders, the Smokeout rally isn't happening this year. There's a bunch of bike events that I normally go to are just like, nah, not this year. Can't wait to ride. Wisconsin weather is pretty crappy yet. 51 next Monday. So, ooh, yeah, 51. Well, I mean, yeah, if you're in really cold weather, 51 is tropic. Toilet paper panic. Yeah, no doubt. Um, it was 85, 86. It was supposed to be 85, and I checked. It was actually 86 here the other day. We turned on the AC because it got that warm. Um, I'm not ready for it to be that warm yet, but yeah, we actually it was warm. It's been warmer and a little muggier lately, so I think we're kind of through winter, and it baffles me because I looked on weather.com yesterday, just on the front page. It's like, okay, well, obviously we have the plague, um, snow. There's snow around the country and earthquakes, and what are we missing? Locusts? I mean, what else is left? But I mean, they kind of sensationalize that kind of stuff, anyways. But yeah, there's a lot going on. The weather's weird, earth's quaking, viruses. It's terrible, terrible. But no, I'm doing pretty good. Daytona happened, and then I guess in the middle of it or sometime around that, the mayor said, "Yeah, we're pulling all the sales permits." This is my understanding. I wasn't there, and that was another thing. They didn't. Daytona wasn't canceled at the time, but I missed it. It just snuck up on me so fast. I'm like, "What? It's next week?" That's I didn't see it coming. So I guess it happened, and then in the middle of it or thereabouts, they pulled all the sales permits. So a lot of stuff closed down and stopped operating. Now, in the campgrounds, which is my favorite place, anyways, they just stayed there and did their thing. So that was, that worked out all right. So there was a sort of Daytona this year, I guess. Um, but it wasn't the same, which is fine. I mean, they probably shut down all the parts of it I didn't like. So kind of wish I'd gone now. But no, it's I missed that one as well. I don't know what this year is going to be. Maybe this year is all about riding instead of the different events and stuff. I still want to go to Texas. I'd love to go to Texas this year. That's kind of my thing, I think. Wow, crazy! A lot of money is tossed into that event. Yeah, it is. It is absolutely. And they're going to take the hit. And Charleston is the same way. Charleston being a tourist town, well, being very much a tourist town, um, is losing a lot of money right now. And everybody is. I mean, everybody's feeling this kind of crunch. Deadly Stalker, hey, how are you? See, I was gonna get off at 8:30, but we're still here. I'll keep it going for a bit longer. Now that people are showing up, sure. So yeah, it's I mean, everybody's kind of feeling a hit from it. The only thing we can do is, I think, just help each other through and work it out. I know somebody who is real concerned about their job and stuff, and I'm like, you're not, you won't be poor until I'm poor. You'll have some money. Um, so just gotta help people through. My son is actually in the process of buying a house, has a baby on the way, so right now he's still working, but he's in a, like every other job, it's dependent on other jobs. Um, so when everything else shuts down, I don't know if he will be or not. I mean, he's not a paramedic or anything. He fixes forklifts and stuff. And if warehouses stop operating because things aren't shipping, does he get laid off? Does he go to short hours? How does that impact him? So he's another one. It's like, don't worry about it. I mean, you're buying the house, but if I have to help you through, I'll help you through. It's no big deal. Scary down. Hey man, everybody's showing up now. This is crazy. I need to do this at 8:30 next time. Hey, how are you? Unfortunately, you missed a lot of the dialogue. We went through movies, riding, places that I'd like to ride this year. Ham radio, computer parts. But I'm still glad you're here. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Twitch lately. Doing the I've been doing a lot of the live stuff on Twitch and doing photo editing. So I'm kind of getting used to this live format a little bit, instead of producing a video. And it's nice because I can do 3 times as long a video doing this as I can producing and still put the same amount of time into it. It takes a lot to put one of those to chop up a video and do the music and to edit it to edit a video. And this is just easy. You slap the headphone on and chit chat with people. So, well, I appreciate you stopping by, Harley Handler. I'm glad you did drop by. It's always these get really boring if I'm just talking to myself, and I do that a lot on Twitch too. Uh, Luckily I'm editing at the same time, and on Twitch you can see my screen, and there's different windows and stuff like that, and I could do that here, but I have to change the software around, and it's a little bit more complicated. But yeah, just talking to yourself, it gets tedious. I could do that without the computer. So, scary clown, glad to hear you're doing good. Hopefully everybody's doing good and surviving all the trauma. It's a tough gig. It's a tough time, but we've all been through worse. As a country and as a planet and everything else. Everybody's got their time they need to go through, and maybe this is our time to step up. So make it all work. Yeah, Twitch was historically very much a gamers platform, and there's still a lot of gamers on there. But it's growing. Now, what's amazing is you also get channels on Twitch, streams on Twitch, where you'll just get some buxomous woman talking the whole time, and she's making money for it. People are like, subscribing, and when you subscribe, that person gets paid. And if you're subscribing for $5 a month, or I think the next tier is like 10, up to $25 a month, something like that. That person's getting that money, and basically they are sitting there just chit chatting and looking cute and making money. I'm like, what? There was one stream. There's some other stream where a guy's just sitting there, and half the time he's just sitting there watching TV, and he makes money. I was told there was one stream that was basically a jar of peanut butter, and people were watching it, watching a jar of peanut butter. So Twitch has both ends. It's like it can be really cool stuff. There's a guy on Twitch called uh, Dom Palumbo, great drummer out of New Jersey. He's mostly a jazz drummer, but he's really super talented. Orto Pilot, a musician out of the UK, who is just, I don't know why he's not famous. He is so talented. Great singer. I actually bought his CDs and had him send them. So, it's good stuff. There's another one called Venus World, and she's a really good singer and has CDs out and everything else. And they're also on Spotify and everything else. But there's some really good talent up there that's not gaming. And I try and stick to those. And it's becoming more and more of a platform for people who are doing, like I do photo editing and stuff like that, and chats and stuff like that, but mostly photo editing. And we walk through a lot of pictures and things like that. And it's expanding that way. So Twitch is kind of cool, but it is primarily very live, very live. They do let you save the videos for later, but I don't think most people use that. A lot of people don't go back and watch old videos. There's so much live stuff to see. So it's kind of neat. I like it. Very interactive, kind of like this. So since I've been doing Twitch, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do the same thing on YouTube, and talk to my motorcycle peeps, and just have a warning because I owe them a video. I'm trying to get back into doing something weekly, but I figured I owed you a video, and I haven't been out riding or out. I haven't been outside really. So yeah, it's this was an option. This was an option. So yeah. Anyways, I hate to do this because I know you guys just showed up, and I appreciate you being here. I really do. I mean, it means a lot to me, and it's great to be able to talk to somebody instead of just talking to myself. But I do have to go because I've got to get ready for work, and I am still working. I'm just working from the house now. Trump is saying the malaria drug was very promising. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Thanks. You have a great day too. Yeah, I know there's still a lot of stuff going on. I was watching something the other day where they were saying that the camera companies, Fuji, the same people that make camera, have a big medical division as well, as does Canon. And Canon is looking at a way for to help out with detection because we're running out of detection supplies. The testing supplies. So they're trying to figure a way to do that. There's another company that has started making like face masks and stuff. So people have really pivoted, and it reminds me of like during World War II when you look at the old videos of World War II, and everybody's behind the cause doing their part. Whether it's rubber, collecting rubber, or saving newspapers, or shutting the lights off at a certain time, and it's really kind of it has that kind of vibe to it a little bit. And that's nice to see. It's nice to see people coming together. We've got so much divisiveness that it's a shame that something like this has to do it. But if that's what it takes, that's where we are, and people are trying to help out. So that's good. That's good. I'm also a little sketched about the companies that well, we're going to give you free something for 2 months, which you're not going to cancel after the fact. So they're really marketing. They're just doing it in a very loving way. So I get, it's business, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. So anyways, yeah, I do have to go. I appreciate you being here, and we'll do this again sometime if you think this was a good thing. If you're watching the video afterwards and you kind of dig this format, let me know, and maybe we'll do this again. And I'm just trying to stay in touch. I'm trying to get more regular with posting. I really dropped out of the scene for a while, and I'm back to where I want to put up content and want to stay in, if nothing, at least stay in contact with the people who are here, because that's what's important. It's not so much the video. But thank you, sir. I appreciate you being here, and have a great day and stay safe out there. Bye.